The spider tournament for the Fusion has gone live. In it, we need to get accessories from the spider's den. We get points for getting said accessories. We got to get 2,250 points, which can take some time and take some energy. So I'm going to talk about some of the best practices for running spider. For instance, I've been running spider hard 10 because I need mythical accessories for my Marius mission. But that's not the best practice. Let's talk about it all here today. But before we do any of that, let me remind you guys that you can start a brand new account and get 3 free legendaries just by clicking the link down there in the description. You're gonna get my man Thalon Foulbeard. I use this dude everywhere all the time. He's so good for PvE content. And then for logging in for 7 days, you're gonna get Ezio from Assassin's Creed. He's actually a really solid early game champion. I've been loving him on my brand new account. An amazing champion to have for a new player. And then if you go over here and you click promo codes and type in go fast, you're gonna get Razzlevarg. I actually don't even have him, so you'll have a champion I don't even have, and I've been playing this game for over 6 years. All you have to do is click that link down there in the description, start up a brand new account with a new email, and you'll be on your way in Raid Shadow Legends. But let's go ahead and let's hop in and let's talk about the spider. So generally, if you're running these spider tournaments, there's a couple of stages that work out better than others. For instance, if I'm just farming this tournament and not going for my Marius mission, I'm just gonna run spider 20. This is a stage that I can just nuke away at. I can get it done in like 10 to 12 seconds with this team that I have, and I can get these runs done as quickly as possible and then be done with the tournament. And stage 20 has some other significance, because not only can we just complete it really fast, nuke away at it, but the accessories that you can earn are generally, I don't want to say higher, but for the energy cost, you have a higher chance of getting it. If you look here, stage 20 is the first stage where you can get 5 to 6 accessories, and it's the last stage before it goes up to 18 energy. I guess this is boosted up here. It's a 16 energy stage. So right before it goes up to 18 energy. So you can have the chance to get in the 5 to 6 star accessories without spending that 2 extra energy. So that's why I always run stage 20. Super quick, super easy, and we have the first chance at getting those 5, 6 star accessories. If you're a new player, stage 10 is actually your friend. Stage 10, it's not like a proven fact, but it's kind of like one of those things where you just have a higher chance of getting 5-star accessories. It's the first stage where you get 4 to 5-star accessories. But for some reason, stage 10 seems to give out more 5-star accessories. So if you're an early game player, I would run stage 10 if you're gonna run spider. But I think stage 20 is the goal for a lot of players. And there's a lot of different champions you can use. And you can see, I use rare champions in here. Coldheart is your friend for the spider. I don't know if you saw how hard she hits here, but she will nuke this spider. I'll talk about a couple like team options, but ideally you want someone that's gonna have a decreased defense at bare minimum. We have decreased defense and weaken, that's amazing. And then you just want some nukers. You saw that the Coldheart just dealt 3.2 million damage and essentially took the spider almost, what, like 2/3 of the way out by herself. And the reason for this is her A3. It's called Heartseeker. It attacks one enemy. It's gonna decrease their turn meter by 100%. But it also has a 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit, which means you can actually build her with only 70% crit rate, but it's gonna scale on the enemy max HP, which spider has a lot of HP, and then her attack. And since we only have to build her at 30% crit rate, you can just load her up with tons and tons of attack. You can see I have 75% crit rate on her because we don't need the full 100%. We just focus on getting attack. And then another thing that you can look for is try to get some of those ignore sets. I have this Coldheart built in a 6-piece Merciless, which is going to give me 35% ignore defense. And I know that's not achievable for everyone, but even if you're early game, if you could just put like a 4-piece Savage on there where it ignores 25%, you should be able to achieve that pretty early because again, you don't need the full crit rate. I would just focus on loading up as much attack percent and crit damage as possible, and then just getting to the bare minimum on that crit rate of 70%. Try to throw some crit damage gloves on her, and if you can get that nice ascension, that's going to be great. But Coldheart is going to be your friend. At one point here, before my Coldheart was just nuking so hard, I was just running a defense down champion and 3 Coldhearts just because she hits so hard against the spider. As far as masteries for your Coldheart, this is what we like to go with here. You can actually go either a Helm Smasher, or you could even go over and get Flawless Execution for more crit damage. I personally went with Helmet Smasher since we're going with that ignore defense on there anyways. So that's kind of where I lean into that. And then you want to go Hero Soul on here, because if you're running her on Spider, her damage is going to increase based on those little spiderlings in there. So all those spiderlings that are up, she's going to get just a little bit more damage for each one of them. So Hero Soul is actually a really nice blessing. I actually don't even have a relic on this one, but if you're going to go with a relic, anything that's going to ignore defense, I guess Gore Crescent ignores after killing. Anything that's going to ignore defense or add crit damage. I don't have any Maleficent Talons. That's probably why she doesn't have a relic. I probably stole her Talon for someone else. I don't have like any cat's eye gazes or anything on my account, but Maleficent Talon is an amazing relic to put on a Cold Heart. It's going to give you that crit damage and just help boost her up, have a chance to deal more damage when attacking. I think this is the perfect relic for your Cold Heart if you're trying to run Spider. Aside from that, like anything with like attack, I think the Coronet is really nice also, because it's just going to give you that attack and a little bit of accuracy in there. But really just if you don't have a lot of options, it's anything that's going to give you attack. I mean, the Unholy Grail would be solid because deals 2% more damage if under any debuffs. Not going to be any more debuffs under any debuffs ideally, but it's going to give that attack in there. And that's the main thing. Anything that's just going to give you that slight edge, take those little spider, take the big spider down. I guess we don't really care about the little spiders. Just nuke away at her or at the spider, that is. And you can even build her without the ignore set. So like this Cold Heart, obviously she's missing gloves here, but this was a Cold Heart I was using. I would just put like some crit damage gloves on her. Any crit damage gloves will do as long as we get to that 70%. We just need a little bit. I mean, these ones would be perfectly fine. And again, just as much attack on there as possible, as much crit damage, and then we just let her run through there. If you don't have those ignore sets, it's fine. Just try to get as much attack as possible, run attack chest piece, crit damage gloves. Speed boots is optional, honestly. If you can get her going fast enough so that she's going to go before the spider with attack boots, do that. I mean, you can really boost some damage with these Cold Hearts. I know I'm really harping on the Cold Heart. It's just because she's such an accessible champion that most people are going to have on their account. She's a rare void champion. A lot of us like playing voids. If you're a brand new account, you might not have her, but if you've been playing for a little bit and pulled any voids, there's a decent chance you have a Cold Heart. And she's just quite frankly one of the best spider champions. As far as champions to run like for a defense down, if you don't have someone like a Lydia, if you're like new, like a Stag Knight is incredible. He's got the decreased defense, decreased attack in there. Obviously, you're not going to get the weaken. Another option, like a super early game option, I love Tayrell. Old Tayrell's an old school defense down champion, decreased defense champion. Madame Sari is an absolute beast early game. I mean, if you use my download link, you can get Fane, who has decreased defense and weaken on her A3. They can have her attacking the spider. So you can have her and they're doing the decreased defense and weaken. Ideally, you want someone like a Lydia who's going to place the decreased defense and weaken, give you guys some boosts in there. I run her on protection, so we're going to deal more damage. But I know not everyone has that option available to them. So I'm aware of that. So, I mean, Fane we get from the download link. So a lot of you guys should be able to have Fane for free in there. Another good nuker who actually has decreased defense on the A1 is Royal Guard. We were talking about Cold Heart a lot. If you need another big nuker, Royal Guard attacks all enemies. He can take down those spiderlings. He's going to scale on attack, scale on enemy max HP, and he's pretty solid to build. Again, build him with tons of attack. If you're able to get him in those ignore sets, run it up. And this is another champion. If you maybe only have like one Cold Heart, maybe you have a Royal Guard laying around, throw your Royal Guard in there. I used to run two Cold Hearts and a Royal Guard along with my decreased defense and a speed booster. It works out really well. There's a lot of great options. And if you're like my other free-to-play account, maybe you don't have those crazy nukers like a Royal Guard or a Cold Heart. How are you going to deal with the spider? Another great way to deal with the spider 20, is with HP burn. So I run Supreme Gaelic, who was a free champion that we got, and I just run him with a bunch of support because what he's going to do is he's going to have an AoE HP burn, which means that he's going to HP burn on all of those spiderlings. And the way the HP burn works is everyone under that HP burn is going to take a tick of damage. So I don't want all these other champions dealing out damage. I want them just kind of in there supporting him and allowing him to do his thing. So we're just gonna go in there, we're gonna HP burn, and then we're just gonna kind of let these spiderlings chill, and then watch, every time one of those little spiderlings takes a turn, you see that? It takes the damage from the big spider. Now this isn't gonna be your 12-second run like, you know, the big crazy nuke team, but this is super effective and a super easy way to do it. We just run a bunch of support to keep Supreme Gaelic alive, and we just burn the spider out. There's a lot of great AoE burn champions. The big thing there is you gotta burn those spiderlings. And again, yeah, this is gonna take a little bit more time, and those spiderlings, you're gonna go through waves with them, and the big spider's gonna heal. It's not gonna be as fast, but this is a relatively new account that's able to consistently clear through the spider. The timing gets jacked up a little bit, but again, it doesn't lose because we have all these champions in here. We have technically 4 revivers. All 4 of those champions have revived. Rector Draft, Tagore, Artur, and Ugo, if she's the last one, can revive. All 4 of them can revive in case Gallic gets taken out. And then we got healing in there. We got shields in there. It's all about just keeping these champions up and then burning with the spiderlings. Again, it's not the quickest. It's going to be a 3-4 minute process. But this is something you could just set it off on the other screen or set it on another device and kind of let it just run in the background while you're playing. Just let these spiderlings just get burned up there, and eventually you'll get through here. I'll let this run out. I'll show you guys exactly how long it is, but this is another great method for taking down Spider 20 or just Spider in general if you just don't have the brute force to get through it. So this ended up being quite a bit slower than expected, but still, it's a very consistent method just because like they'll target Rector Drath here and she'll get taken out, and then we just burn them, and the process can get a little bit funky with the timing of the burns and all that kind of great stuff, but eventually we're gonna get through here. We're gonna take these daggone spiders out. 5 minutes, yeah, it's a long run, but you can see like the fastest time up here, 2:37. It kind of just varies on the timing on everything, but this literally doesn't lose. I mean, 16 million damage there with Supreme Gaelic. It's just another option to get through Spider 20. It's very consistent, very good. Just a bunch of support champions. You don't want to take those spiderlings out. You want them taking turns. So they're going to take that HP burn. Yes, sometimes it's going to be weird and funky, but if you do it right, this is a very, very good, consistent way to take down the spider. And you don't have to have Supreme Gaelic. Anyone that's going to have that AoE HP burn is going to work for this method. And then if you do want to go and run Spider Hard 10 for the chance at the mythicals, or maybe you're on a mission like I am, we're pretty much going to do the same thing. This is the team I like to run. Honestly, like Leo, I've been kind of playing with like who I want in this last spot here, whether it's like Leo, I've ran Seer, I've ran Calvalax in here. I almost feel like I could get away with like not running a 5th champion on this squad. I've run Whisper in here. I just can't find anyone that really feels like they add a lot of speed to the team. I mean, maybe I could even run Thalin in here, but yeah, I don't know. But I've had this one run. It's very, very good and consistent, but it's the same concept here. We're just going to nuke away at the spider. We're going to use Lydia for the decreased defense and weaken. Lydia, once you get your Lydia, man, she's so, so good. You get her from Faction Wars, but she's so, so good. And I'm going to run Mikage. She's not going to put out a ton of damage, but she's going to put the increased attack and the increased crit damage on all of these champions. And then we're just going to nuke away in here. My Acrizia, who just smacks super hard, is built in Relentless, so sometimes she gets those extra turns, and then we just finish the spider off if we get those extra turns. So just a lot of different options here for running spider. Hopefully just giving you guys some tips of how you can run spider and get this tournament done as easy as possible. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. Go out there, farm some spider, farm some silver. I'll see you guys on the next one.